Hey gear nerds, welcome to Mano-Destra Studio. You're here with Mr. Diggles and we're here to talk about electronic music and the weird gear that makes it. I haven't done a personal video in probably 20 years on YouTube, but I felt like it was time since I've been making electronic music since 1998, and so I've amassed quite a weird collection and cool collection of electronic music equipment that I want to share. I've made a lot of these videos for my friends, and that is only so limited. Love you guys, but I want to get it a little bit more of a broader reach out in YouTube, and I think there's some cool community members considering how much content I consume and how much I've learned from people doing this exact thing. So that said, if you like this idea of learning about cool equipment, perspectives, and how to do things and how things are made, please subscribe, leave comments. Just know that I don't know everything. There's my disclaimer, so please don't be an asshole. Please be constructive. That said, we're going to be covering a lot of topics as this channel grows. So if you want to see something to be covered, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to try to cover it. In the meantime, let's go ahead and jump into today's topic, which I'm really excited about. Let's get inside. So today's video is about how I come up with patterns for the TB-303 and sort of my workflow going from ideation and coming up with ideas to a final product that I feel somewhat convicted about, that I either want to play live or record. Now, I use a clone called TB-03, which is another Roland device, which is a clone of the TB-303. And the reason I do this for ideation, where I just kind of riff on it, come up with ideas, I travel with it, I bring it with me on planes and whatnot, is because the TB-303, the original OG, was built in 1981. They had a limited run of like 10,000 of these units because it was sort of a failed concept, which I'll touch on in another video. But the point is that it's a very rare, expensive piece of gear. And while yes, when you use it, you can have it serviced or updated or upgraded or whatnot, I just like not to hammer on it when it comes to just things like ideation, right? So I use the TB-03 for ideation and just kind of messing around until I hit a pattern that I like. Once I find a pattern that I like, I then, as crazy as it sounds, I manually write it down on a piece of paper, and I've got like a folder where I save all my patterns. And I just kind of built this hack template from other online templates to make my own. And I made it available in the info section so you can download it if you want to use it. But then once I have it on one of these pieces of paper, I can then translate or move everything over to the TB-303, and then it's ready to go for a performance or a recording. So we're going to go through that entire process today, and then I'm going to end by just throwing some basic beats on the 303 pattern just to bring it to life and make it a little sexier. But hopefully this flow inspires people to sort of do the same. If you have other ideas or you have ways that you do it, I'd love to hear about how you approach ideation to kind of take it easy on some of your older analog gear that will wear out if you hit it as hard as the Prodigy does. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, went ahead and turned this guy on. As you can see, we're using the TB-03 here. Went ahead and I'm using the 7th bank, and I went ahead and cleared that guy, so you see there's nothing playing. So I like doing my time mode first. I see some people do it second. You can do it either way. You can always mess around with it at any time. So I like to go into the time mode, just set this to 16, and we're set. Again, I wrote that down on my template. Then we're going to go ahead, and as we can see on the template, we're going to go back over to pitch mode, and we're going to go ahead and put these in. So the first one is a C, another C, another C, another C. Then we've got a D sharp, another D sharp, 2 more Cs, 2 more D sharps, 2 more Cs, 2 more D sharps, and that 2 more Cs. Okay, great. So now we got the pattern in there. I'm going to go ahead and manually go through each step and go ahead and add in the octave shifts as well as the slide changes. So first one is clear. Second one, we're going to go up an octave. Third one is clear. Fourth one, we're going to go up an octave. D sharp, we're going down, and we're also going to add a slide. Sixth one is clear. 7C is clear. 8C, we're going to go up, add an accent. The D sharp, we're gonna go down on number 9. D sharp on 10 is clear. C on 11, we're gonna go down 1, and we're gonna go with an accent. 12 is clear on the C. D sharp on 13 is clear. And number 14, we're gonna go down and we're gonna add a slide. C on the 15th, we're gonna go up an octave. And C on the 16th bar, we're gonna go down. And there we've got it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and play this. All right, and I set the tempo at 100 beats per minute because I think that's kind of a cool zone for this zipper type of vibe. But first, what we're gonna do is, say you just like hammered crazy stuff, not really knowing what you're doing in the TB-03, and you need to write it down. You're like, okay, how do I take what's here and put it on paper? So what we want to do is go back to pitch mode, and every time you hit right next, it's going to go one step in the sequence, the 16 bars. And so this gives you a chance to write it down. So you take your handy little template piece of paper I've got going here, and we know that we're on the first bar here. So as I hit this, we know that it's a C. So, but there's nothing else. So just write down C. You can see on the second C, we had a octave shift up. So you want to go ahead and mark that. The third C, there's nothing. The fourth one, we've got the octave up. The fifth step, we've got a D sharp that has been an octave down with a slide. 6th bar, there's a D sharp with nothing. 7th bar, we've got C that has nothing. Then we've got a C that is a up octave with an accent. We go back to a D sharp with a down on the octave, but no changes elsewhere. D sharp on number 10, that's completely clear. Go back to C, and we go ahead and drop that down 1 octave and add an accent. The next C is blank. D sharp is blank. D sharp has a down octave with a slide. And C has 1 up on the octave, and then the last bar 16, we've got a C that is down an octave. So that's how I write it all down. So once I come up with something cool here, I extract it, I put it over onto the piece of paper, and then I'm ready to go ahead and move it over to the TB-303. But once again, here's the sound. Hot. All right, now that we've used the TB-03 to come up with some ideas, and we wrote them down on our template on the piece of paper, I'm now going to bring it over to the OG himself, the TB-303. As you can see, there's no screen here. This was built in 1981, so there's just not as many features. So some of this stuff you actually got to keep track of in your head or count out, which is weird, but also kind of charming and cool at the same time. So let's go and fire this guy up. I'm going to crank the volume on it. We'll go ahead and clear our first pattern to make sure that's clear. Let's go ahead and add those 16 notes on the time mode, count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Great. So now what we're going to do is actually put in the actual pattern that I wrote down. So here we go. Bam. All right, so it's in. Now we have to add the accents, slides, and the octave shifts. So I'm going to go back to pitch mode. We're going to have to do this again. We don't have the counter to tell us what we're on, so you have to keep track of that in your head. So a little easier when you're looking at the piece of paper, but let's go and put it in. Okay, that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and kill this guy and we're gonna listen to it. Fire. Add some effect. Pretty cool. Okay, so what we did is we took the TB-03 ideation, wrote it on a piece of paper, and we were able to repeat it over here on the TB-303 for either recording or for live performance. So now what we're going to do, just to finish this thing out, is I'm going to add a beat just to kind of make this thing come to life and feel a little bit sexier, and we'll leave it at that. Let's do it. Well, that's it for today from the Mano-Destra studio. Again, thank you from Mr. Diggles here. I appreciate you joining. Let me know down in the comments if you enjoyed it, if there's anything you would have liked to have seen that was different or have any ideas. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.